Hello, it's Stephen. I'm in the BeLive studio and I'm on the Pro version, and you can tell if you're on the Pro version. If you go top right, it will tell you which version you're actually using. Now, one of the benefits of the Pro version is the ability to have more than one camera on screen, but that's more than one host camera on screen. Now, I'm live here now with my Logitech Brio with XSplit VCam, but I can bring in a second camera, and I'm going to bring in the camera as it goes down into the staging area. I'm going to select, if I go down and through the list, I want my Microsoft camera front, and I'm going to get it. It's not going to, right, Microsoft camera front, and I want it Microsoft camera front, okay, and I want it in 1080p. So that's the first thing. I've got the camera and it's working in 1080p. One of the things you can check is that you're actually broadcasting in 1080p, and it should be orange. Okay, now you know you're actually in 1080p. So I'm going to bring that camera up on screen, and you can now see two views of me side by side. You can see on the right hand side, you can see my Microsoft camera, and if I turn towards that camera, you can see me. If I turn towards this camera, you can see me. So I can be on either of the two cameras. Now, if I've got two cameras on screen, then I can switch between them. So I can make this camera full screen. I need to look, I've got to be sure where you're looking. I need to look at this camera. Okay, or I can make my Surface Book 2 camera full screen. Now, it takes a bit of practice switching between the two, but for every camera that you have connected to your machine, you can switch between the cameras simply by going, and hopefully this will work, simply by going, and I'm just practice. So you can have two cameras on screen. They can be either side by side like that, or side by side like that, picture in picture, or picture in picture. The choices are yours. Now, that's the standard operation with two cameras, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the next phase of this and actually show you two cameras set up slightly differently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this camera full screen so you can actually see me, and I'll be back in a moment as I go and do something in the background. So what I need to do is move that over here and just right. Okay, so it's time for a change in location, and we're going down into the kitchen, and you can see the lighting's not as good, but I've taken the portable downstairs. I've taken the Logitech Brio camera downstairs. I've taken the microphone downstairs, but unfortunately the microphone decided not to work. So this is a continuous recording from the studio. So this is a voiceover. And as you can see, the Brio camera is actually pointed towards the kitchen worktop. And you can see, as we go full screen in a moment, you can see what's actually in the picture. And there we have it. We have fresh eggs on the egg rack. We have a George, which is George II, because George I was disappeared a month ago. We replaced it. And then you've got Steamy, who's the steamer, and then back to me. Now, the whole point here is that you can actually do a cookery demonstration whilst you are broadcasting. So first camera is on the work surface, the second camera is on you. You can go picture in picture or picture in picture like that, and that basically allows you to do a live demonstration, a live cookery demonstration, using your internal camera, because you're only small, so the definition is not a major thing, and your Logitech camera C920, C922, or the Brio, which is the one you see here, can actually be focused on the work surface, and on the work surface you'll be able to see whatever I'm cooking or preparing to cook. So I could give a cookery demonstration, and if you want lasagna, I'll show you how to make one. So that's the setup, second setup we've seen. We've seen the office, and now we're going to switch over to another scene, and you'll see me in a second. And here I am. I'm in the conservatory. It's raining outside. I was going to do an outside broadcast, my first OB from BeLive, but it's raining outside, so I'm sat inside. The portable is in front of me. To the side of me is my Brio camera again, and you'll see that in shot in a second. And this time round, might have to do a bit of, well, let's do a little bit of changes, and once the changes are made, you will see what I've actually set up for the third shot. So a reminder, we actually don't want to see that. That's not us. XSplit broadcast you could use as a virtual camera coming into BeLive, but that's not the point of this broadcast. What I'm actually trying to do is to set up a camera, and the camera is nearly set up, so bear with me a second, and it's worth waiting for. And I'll be back in a second, start recording again, and in fact I didn't stop recording. So are you ready for this? This is what I've got. I've got myself on camera, and that's the internal camera on the Surface Book 2. That's the front camera pointing towards me. I've got the rear camera pointing through the doors out into the garden, and then to the right of that, in a minute, you'll see the view from the Logitech Brio looking out over the garden. The chickens, in case you're wondering, actually live at the bottom of the garden, and I'm coming back to the shot through the door. So we've got 3 cameras involved here as part of the BeLive Pro subscription, and I can come back and I can switch between any of the 3 cameras at any time during the broadcast, or I can come back to the 3 of us on screen, and you can see now as I change the screen display that you're able to readily switch between one view and another, talk to camera, and tell your story. And I could have told you a story about the chickens. I'll save that for another time. I didn't go outside today because it was raining, but doing a 3 camera setup on BeLive using your desktop or your portable and your external camera is simple and straightforward to do. The whole session that you've seen in the studio, in the kitchen and in the garden took about 40 minutes from beginning to end. So it's quick and easy to actually move around and to set up, to carry your cameras with you, and then when you're ready, simply go live. So look forward to a broadcast from the garden if it ever stops raining. Thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoy using more than one camera as host on BeLive, and see you soon.